Welcome to DadMode, God, Grit, and Goals, the podcast where we explore becoming our best selves through faith, resilience, and personal growth. Hey, I'm Mike Tobias, and today we're going to be diving into a powerful concept that can revolutionize your life, at least it has for me. Your competition, your only competition, is yourself from yesterday. So first, let me set the stage with a hard truth. This hit me the other day when I was at the pool, no one else around, early in the morning, and I'm sitting there. Nobody knows I'm here. Nobody even cares if I'm here. And it just kind of struck me. Nobody cares if you live an undisciplined life. And while that might sound harsh, I think it's kind of liberating. It means you have the freedom and the power to shape your destiny without worrying about anyone else, any external validation. Sure, we all like those attaboys and good job. I thrive on those. But it is the battle within that we face and fight every day. So each day is a new opportunity to be better than you were yesterday. Competition isn't with others, it's with your past self. And this mindset shift has really helped me transform how to approach my goals and challenges. And so I wanted to share that with you today. And let me just start with a personal story. So a year ago, I decided to improve my health and my fitness. And I just started a simple routine of sit-ups and push-ups. And you may have heard of this before, but I just wanted to start a routine. I knew I needed to eat better. I needed to get some exercise in. Those are the things, that are going to make a difference. And I set a goal to get up, and the morning went by and I didn't get it done. That night, I realized I didn't get it done. 2-3 days go by. Finally, I'm like, all right, tomorrow I'm just going to do one sit-up, one push-up, just disgusted with myself. And so I got on the floor the next morning, and I did. And I ended up doing 5 sit-ups, 5 push-ups. Hey, hooray, yay. I got it done. And then I decided I can add one more a day, and let's just see how this goes. And it was challenging at first, but I stuck with it. And after 90 days, I was doing 95 sit-ups and 95 push-ups just by adding one a day. Now, I've continued this practice all year, but I decided that I needed to settle in. I can't keep doing that. I don't have all day to do sit-ups and push-ups, but I do 63 consecutive sit-ups and push-ups every morning. And that is now the routine. That is now the norm. Competing with my past self, who might have skipped the exercises, and that's the battle now. It's like, well, I can skip today. No, keep going. So it significantly improved my discipline and my overall fitness. Throughout the Bible, we're reminded of the importance of personal growth and perseverance. Philippians 3:13-14 says, "Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead. I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." This scripture encourages me to focus on my own progress and strive for continual improvement. And so I just wanted to share that with you in hopes that perhaps that might do that for you as well. When we focus on competing with ourselves, we embrace a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. We become less concerned with what others are doing and more focused on our personal journey. This internal competition drives us to set higher standards and push our limits and achieve things we never thought possible. This is why people do cold plunges. It's like, why would you do that? Well, it turns out it's actually good for your body. You're putting it in shock, but it is like, get out of your own headspace. It's mind over matter. So how do we start competing with ourselves? You want to start by setting clear, measurable goals. Mine were simple. 1 sit-up, 1 push-up. You want to track your progress and celebrate small victories along the way. It's important that we celebrate. I curse at myself, and I also congratulate myself when I'm out running. It's like, way to go. You did it. Come on. Get your butt in gear. Let's go. You want to reflect on your past achievements and identify areas of improvement. This practice not only builds discipline, but also instills a sense of purpose and direction in our lives. I was thinking about this the other day. There's a difference between an obsession and a discipline. Whenever we start something and it's exciting, and it's like, I'm gonna do this, and you become obsessed with it. I'm pretty obsessive. I get obsessive about things. But I realize it's like when the joy is over, when you're no longer obsessed with it, and you just need to do it. That's the discipline part. What I discovered about myself is I'm actually not very disciplined. I'm more obsessive, and so I end up going from one thing to the next. And when I learn something new, I'm like all in, and so it feels like I'm disciplined. And other people are like, I don't know how you can focus for that long, but but it's really an obsession. The discipline is actually doing it when you don't want to. And so I've been thinking about that. So just remember, the journey of self-improvement it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and it's not going from one obsession to the next. It's like, I don't feel like it. Hey, congratulations. Neither do I. I'm, like I told you, I was at the pool. Nobody cares. Like, you have to care. Each day presents a new chance to be better, stronger, and more disciplined than the day before. And you can tell when you're starting to fall off, you're like, that's a discipline issue. And so I want to get better in my discipline. I don't have to get better at doing more and more heavier weights, more stuff. I need to get better at my discipline in that's the mental game. Like, no, I'm going to do this, mind over matter. So embrace this journey with patience, but you're going to need persistence. You want to know that the only competition that truly matters is that one within yourself. That still small voice that's telling you you don't need to do this. You can roll over. Because the reality of an undisciplined life, it leads to mediocrity. We take the easy route. We avoid challenges and growth opportunities. I mean, how many times have you just not done something because nobody's pushing you to do it? This is why we have coaches, and we need coaches. But you don't really have a coach in life if you're not doing a sport any longer. I think about the Olympics. I've been watching the Olympics, and it's like they've got their coaches. They're blowing the whistle. They're saying, okay, next set, get back in there. It's like, you've got to be able to do that yourself. In today's society, discipline is often equated with success, as it should be. You can't help but watch the Olympics and realize that these folks are disciplined, and they're achieving great things. And whether they win the gold or not, every one of those people that have made those Olympics, they're putting in the work. It's not just the ones that are getting the medals. There's a bunch of them. So you can think about athletes, you can think about entrepreneurs, you can think about leaders who inspire you. Their success is built on a foundation of consistent, disciplined effort. They appear obsessed, but I think it's the discipline that actually matters the most. So there's a paradox here, though. While society celebrates the results of discipline, it doesn't really highlight the daily grind behind those results. We admire the end product, but we often overlook the countless hours of hard work. We just say they were lucky, or we are written up as overnight successes. And it's like, no, there was work, there was sacrifice, there was perseverance that went into that. Self-discipline offers immense freedom. When you're disciplined, you have control over your actions, over your time, and ultimately over your destiny. That's not at the mercy of the whims of external pressures. You make conscious choices that align with your values and your goals. But self-discipline also comes with great responsibility. It's up to you to hold yourself accountable. No one else is going to do this. This can be daunting, but it's also empowering. You have the power to shape your life in ways that others can't. I'll tell you, when I wake up in the morning, I literally have to make a conscious decision, and I think about this. I think about who I am before doing any other thing other than turning off my alarm. And my phone is my alarm, but I will not look at it. I've learned that I can't do that because it just takes me off in a direction. So I turn it off. I don't put on my glasses. I don't read my phone. I just lay in bed and I think there are two versions of me available today. There's the disciplined version that's going to get up now and do my stretches, do my sit-ups, do my push-ups. And there's the old me, the undisciplined one, the one that's going to hit the snooze button, grab my phone, start scrolling, thinking I'm doing something useful. And so I have to decide every morning which Mike Tobias is going to wake up, the disciplined athlete or the lazy bum who's getting older and uses age as an excuse. And it's a daily choice. So I need inspiration. Let's look at some insights from individuals I've read. These are great quotes, I think. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." One of my favorite motivational speakers is a guy named Jim Rohn. He's the precursor to all of the inspirational speakers that we hear today. I think he inspired them all. He says, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." And we can go way back to Plato. The first and very best victory is to conquer self. These quotes remind us that discipline is not a one-time effort, but a conscious and consistent journey. It's about building habits that lead to excellence and personal growth. Think about it. When was the last time you pushed yourself out of your comfort zone? When did you last set a goal and just relentlessly pursue it, no matter the obstacles? If you can't remember, it might be a sign that you've been taking the path of least resistance. You see, our brain is naturally inclined to seek the easy way out. That's what makes us intelligent. It's a survival mechanism. It's rooted in your biology. There are neural pathways that are designed to repeat behaviors that require the least effort. This is why habits form so easily and can be so hard to break. When we think about athletics, we call it muscle memory, but it's not muscle memory. It's actually a pathway in your brain. And it's like putting insulation around a wire. It keeps one signal clean and clear from the others. And so muscle memory is nothing but built up insulation around those brain waves that allow you to swing the bat and hit the ball, as an example. So imagine your daily routine. How many of your actions are dictated by habit rather than conscious choice? You just do it. You ever find yourself driving and suddenly you're just there, you're at work, you didn't even think about it. This is why we can listen to podcasts in the car and not really think too much about our driving. We can do both of those at the same time. Now, we can't text and drive because that's a different level of concentration and requires too much of the same part of our brain. From hitting the snooze button to opting for fast food instead of cooking a healthy meal, these least path habits dominate our lives. And understanding this can help you take control and start making intentional decisions. Discipline is about breaking these patterns and creating new, healthier habits. It's about choosing the harder path because we know it leads to growth and improvement. It's about holding yourself accountable because, as we've established, no one else is going to do it for you. One way to start is by identifying your current least path habits. Write them down. Reflect on how they impact your life. For me, it was cinnamon dolce syrup in my coffee in the morning because it tastes better that way. Well, of course it does. It's sugar. Another one I had was just a spoonful or sometimes a scoop of ice cream at night. So it was like beginning and ending my day with sugar. And I realized sugar's a bad cause of inflammation. It's not age, it's sugar. So just find something simple. Choose one habit to change and focus on it for a month. But you got to replace it with some positive behavior that aligns with your goals. So I still have a coffee. I just don't put cinnamon dolce syrup in it. I put cinnamon powder in it. Turns out cinnamon powder is good for you. Stay away from the sugar. This process of just habit replacement, I'll call it. It's not easy, but it is definitely rewarding. It requires daily effort and commitment, and you're going to want to backslide. but the results are worth it. In a matter of days, my inflammation went away. As we build discipline, we gain control over our lives and more closer to the best version of ourselves. And isn't that what you want? Don't you want the best you to show up today? Isn't that why you're listening, to try and improve? So let's delve a little deeper into this concept of least path habits. These default behaviors, because they're the least effort, it's a efficient way to form habits. It's a repetitive action, and it strengthens these neural pathways. So if you want to change these, you got to become aware of them. So here's a couple of strategies to help you get started. You want to set clear goals. Jordan Peterson, I heard him say this before. It was quite interesting. There is no positive emotion without a goal, because our bodies are actually designed that the positive emotion is an indicator that you are getting closer to a goal, either conscious or subconscious. So that's fascinating. If you are experiencing negative emotion or no emotion, it's because you don't have a goal. And so you can't live a life without goals. And you may have unconscious goals. Your goal may be to not feel so bad. But it's better to have a more positive goal, like to feel better. And just flipping those simple words actually matter. So you want to set those goals. You can't have a goal to not do something. You can't have a goal to not smoke. You have to have a goal that would be, what's the replacement of not smoking? The replacement of not smoking is, you could say, to not have the desire to smoke. It's still focused on smoking. So you need to have a goal to be healthy, to feel better. Well, what does that mean? What does that feel like? What does that look like? And you want to create a plan. You want to break your goals down into manageable steps. So, for example, if you want to eat healthier, you got to plan your meals. You got to plan your snacks in advance. And there's all kinds of information out there. I'd be real careful what you're listening to. Some people say you should eat 7 meals a day, small meals. I listened to a guy recently, and he's a longevity expert. He eats 1 meal a day. He eats dinner. That's it. You know that there's benefits in fasting. It's in the Bible. When's the last time you fasted? I had never fasted in my life until this last year. And so I eat 2 meals a day. I don't eat breakfast. I eat lunch and I eat dinner. And everyone says, well, you got to start your day. Yeah, no, you don't have to start your day with sugar. That's why you're so tired. You don't have to have sugar at lunch. That's why you want to take a nap. You don't need a bunch of calories. So anyway, start small. Focus on changing one habit at a time. Don't try and overhaul your entire routine all at once. It's going to be overwhelming. You won't be able to sustain it, and you're going to quit. It's too much. Do a simple thing. You're going to want to share your goals with your friends or family members who will help hold you accountable. You actually need to do that. You got to verbalize it. And of course, track your progress. You can use a journal or an app, or mine are so simple. They're just yes or no. Did you do this today or didn't you? When I put my head down at night, I know. Did you do your sit-ups and your push-ups? Did you do your stretches? Did you swim? I have a routine. Saturdays and Sundays I swim. Wednesdays and Fridays I play hockey. So every day I do sit-ups and push-ups. Track your progress. Replace old habits with new ones. So you want to consciously choose the healthier habits, and that'll rewire your brain to default to these new behaviors. And it will get easier. So you just got to push through. Learning the key to success is through the pain. It's not avoiding the pain. It's just going through it. Now let's talk about something that's that I talk about, but it's not talked about very much, and that's just the sugar. Sugar is an addiction, and once you realize this, that it's an addiction, and it's everywhere. And the food industry knows it's an addiction, and they're giving it to you. And this is why you're constantly hungry, because it's an addiction. When you get off the sugar, you will no longer be hungry, and you will no longer have those cravings. And there's benefits to sugar. Obviously, it tastes good, but it gives you a quick burst of energy. But it's got some serious downsides. So I want to talk about those for a second. Consuming sugar releases dopamine. Dopamine is the pleasure sensation, and it's a similar addictive. It's what makes cocaine powerful. Dopamine. And over time, our brains crave more and more sugar to get the same feeling, leading to overconsumption and health issues. This is why we've gone from 8-ounce drinks to 16-ounce drinks to the big gulp to 64 ounces, and just, it's insane. The immediate effects of sugar might be enjoyable, but the long-term impacts are anything but. Excessive sugar consumption can lead to a host of health issues. Obviously, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. So it's not just about weight gain. Sugar affects our entire metabolic system and causes chronic inflammation, and it's just linked to so many health problems. So how do we break free from the grip of sugar addiction? So I just want to give you a couple of practical steps. Number one, you're just going to have to stop. And you will get through it, because it is so entrenched in your taste buds and everything. Foods will begin to taste better. The things that you don't like now that seem bland, they're actually full of wonderful things. But you're so addicted to it, you don't even realize it. You want to read labels, because sugar hides in many foods, even those that don't even taste sweet. So check the labels for added sugars. Try to choose foods with little or no added sugar. And don't fool yourself into thinking that these no-calorie sweeteners are doing you any good, because they're not. See, let me explain this real quick. So the problem that the sugar creates, not only is it addictive, but it forces your insulin levels to spike. So the insulin comes in to balance out your blood sugar. But the way it does it is it shuts down your metabolism. And here's the thing. When you are eating sugar-free sodas, drinking sugar-free sodas, or you're using sugar substitutes, the sweetness that hits your tongue triggers the insulin support. That's how it happens. And so the fact that there's no sugar in there, so don't believe that, no, there's no sugar in my stomach and therefore I'm saving myself the calories. You're shutting down your metabolism. And you see skinny people and you go, well, they just have high metabolism and I don't have a good metabolism. You don't have a good metabolism because your insulin levels are shutting it down. That is why that's happening. You can research this stuff. I'm telling you the truth. You want to focus on whole, unprocessed foods. So anything in the middle of the grocery store basically is just a no-go. I go around the edges: fruits, vegetables, meat, chicken, pork, fish, any of this stuff. These are naturally low in sugar and they're high in nutrients. You want high protein. Sometimes our bodies, they confuse thirst with hunger. So drink plenty of water. Tea's okay. Coffee's okay in small amounts later in the day. When I say later in the day, like late morning, after your exercises. If you have a sweet tooth, find some healthier alternatives. My grandson thinks cantaloupe is candy. Fresh fruit can satisfy your sugar cravings without negative health effects. You want to plan your meals and snacks ahead of time. Stress triggers sugar cravings. So you got to find a healthy way to manage your stress. That's where exercise comes in. Meditation, spending time with a loved one. These are all ways to help reduce your stress. So by making small changes, you can significantly reduce your sugar intake and improve your overall health. You won't believe how better you feel, and you won't believe how your inflammation goes down. And you won't believe how things taste better once you break through all of this. But just remember, breaking a sugar addiction is not going to happen overnight. You got to go cold turkey. You got to think about this like, I am getting off of a cocaine habit. And you know it's a habit when you can't do it. Like, use that as a sign. It's like, this is so hard. Absolutely. And that's how addicted you are to it. You don't want to think, oh, like, we have so many things backwards. We think, oh, well, I'm taking a pill because I have this issue. The fact that they told you you need a pill is the problem. The pill isn't the fix. It's just masking the problem. So, things to think about. Now let's talk about motivations. There's two main reasons we do things. There's that I want to be a better version of myself, or you're doing something so I can have a cheat day. And I see this in diets all the time. It drives me nuts. And I just say it simply this way. If you need a cheat day, you're not doing it right. Because a cheat day, by definition, says I'm doing something so unhabitual that it's not a habit, and I don't have enough discipline, and so I have to cheat. See, self-improvement is about striving to be the best version of yourself. It's a long-term mindset focused on growth and development, achieving your full potential. And when you adapt this mindset, your actions and intentions are going to be aligned with your core values. If you're doing something and need a cheat day, because I'm earning a cheat day, it's more about seeking immediate gratification. This is a short-term mindset, and it leads to inconsistent efforts. You're going to push yourself hard for a few days or a few weeks only to take breaks or indulge excessively because we feel like we've earned it. This cycle undermines your progress, and it's going to lead to frustration. So think about your approach to diet, exercise, and spirituality. Are you eating healthy just so you can indulge later? Are you working out intensely a few times a week just to justify being inactive the rest of the time? Do you go to church only to confess your sins and feel justified to continue sinning the rest of the week? If so, you're adapting the cheat day mindset. This approach is so counterproductive. It hinders your true growth. Instead, you want to aim for consistent, sustainable habits that contribute to your overall well-being. So, you're either going to strive for self-improvement or you're going to be seeking immediate gratification. A cheat day mindset undermines progress, while consistent habits contributes to your long-term well-being. So just some tips here. Instead of going on a strict diet to lose weight quickly, focus on changing your relationship with food. View food as a fuel for your body rather than a source of comfort or reward. You got to flip that trigger. Make healthy eating a lifestyle, not a temporary fix. When you're exercising, rather than working out just to justify being lazy later, you want to adopt the mindset of an athlete. I don't like running, but I like having had run. You want to view physical activity as a daily practice that enhances your life. And here, consistency is key. You don't have to have a personal best every day. You can give yourself some grace there, but you got to show up. Regular, moderate exercise is way more beneficial than sporadic, intense workouts. And in your spirituality, don't go to church just to check the box so you can live a worldly life the rest of the week. You want to engage in regular spiritual practices that are going to help you grow closer to God and live according to his teachings. You want to seek inspiration and guidance, not just absolution. So set clear, meaningful goals. Create sustainable habits. Reflect on your motivations. And seek accountability. By shifting your mind from seeking cheat days to pursuing self-improvement, you're going to be able to achieve more consistent and meaningful progress in all areas of your life. It's about making choices that align with your long-term vision and your values rather than seeking immediate gratification. So I think I just want to talk to you a little bit about the role of discipline and accountability. Discipline is the backbone of achieving any long-term goal. It's not a one-time event. It's a daily commitment. It's about making hard choices consistently, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. We teach our grandson, Tobias, says, do hard things. And that's the path to discipline. Discipline involves prioritizing long-term benefits over short-term pleasures. So let me tell you about some of my accountability partners. My mirror is my accountability partner. I face myself every morning and every night, and I know if I cheated or not. My bathroom scale is my accountability partner. I stand on it every day. I don't worry about the number. I worry about the trend. Too many days of it going up, something's off. Too many days of it's going down, how's my strength? My blood pressure cuff is my accountability partner. My small men's group that meets every Tuesday morning is my accountability partner. My hockey mates I meet every Wednesday and Friday morning, they're my accountability partners. Nobody really cares if I miss a week or two. I have to care. Every morning I tell my wife, I did my sit-ups and push-ups today. And she says, good job, honey. And that's all I want to hear. She loves me either way. She's not going to really care. I have to care. In my experience, having someone to check in with can make all the difference, whether it's a friend or family member or mentor. Knowing that someone else is invested in your progress adds an extra layer of motivation and accountability. So you should look for one. You want someone who's going to share similar goals. It's helpful if they're working towards similar objectives. You want someone that's reliable, someone who's going to be dependable and committed to a regular check-in, texting you, how's it going? You want someone who's going to be able to provide some constructive feedback. So I hang out with people that are better at me in the sports that I do or the workouts that I'm doing. You want to be an effective accountability partner for someone else? Make sure you got regular check-ins. Make sure you're offering support and encouragement and hold each other accountable. So to be part of a community that shares your goals, this is why just going to church isn't enough in my mind. You need a small group, because a small group is where you're held accountable. So you want to join a group or an organization with those similar interests. This is for all aspects. It just makes so much sense. Remember that discipline and accountability, it's not about perfection. It's about making a consistent effort. It's learning from your setbacks, admitting to them, and continuously striving to improve. With the right mindset and support system, you can achieve your goals and you can be the best version of yourself. But again, if you don't care, none of this is going to happen. So it starts and ends with you. I kind of want to end with an example of Christ. Christ's life was marked with unwavering discipline and self-sacrifice. When I think about Jesus as the way, I think about what was his way? Well, he consistently put others before himself, even to the point of laying down his life for us all. It was the ultimate act of love and sacrifice. And it serves as a powerful reminder of what it means to live a disciplined and purpose-driven life. Throughout history, Jesus, throughout his ministry, he demonstrated incredible discipline. He spent time in prayer. He fasted. He was always seeking God's will, even when it was challenging. His focus was always on fulfilling his mission and serving others. And think about Jesus fasting for 40 days in the desert. Despite intense hunger and temptation, he remained steadfast and disciplined. This is an act of self-denial and reliance on God's strength, and it's a powerful example for us. While we may not be called to the same level of sacrifice as Jesus, we can still apply his principles to our daily lives. And so here's some ways that I'm thinking about Christ as an example. I'm trying to prioritize prayer and reflection. Jesus took time to pray and seek God's guidance. We should prioritize moments of prayer and reflection in our daily routines. He served others. And we should look for opportunities to serve those that are around us, whether it's through volunteering or offering a listening ear or helping a neighbor or acts of service. These are all reflections of Christ's love and discipline. And we should practice self-denial. One of the fruits of the Spirit is long-suffering. Challenge yourself to let go of certain comforts or habits that may be hindering your growth. Maybe this is fasting. Maybe it's giving up social media or some other form of self-discipline that helps you focus on your goals and your values. You want to stay committed to your mission. Jesus did that. He remained committed to his mission until his death and even till today. So Philippians 2:5-8 says, in relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used by or to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant. Being made in human likeness and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on the cross. And Matthew 16:24 says, then Jesus said to his disciples, whoever wants to be my best disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. These verses remind me that the importance of humility, obedience, and self-denial in my journey, it is so important if I want to be a better version of myself. So those are some good verses to meditate on. Living out these principles means making conscious choices that reflect God's teaching. We covered a lot of ground today. Let me just give you a couple of key takeaways. Number one, the concept of self-competition. We started by understanding that our only competition is ourselves from yesterday. Embracing this mindset can drive you to set higher standards and push your limits. Number two, the reality of an undisciplined life leads to mediocrity and stagnation. Discipline puts the power of change in your hands, helping you break the cycle of least path habits. We explored the formation of neural pathways and how least path habits dominate our lives. By recognizing these habits and replacing them with healthier ones, you can rewire your brain for positive outcomes. We delved into how sugar impacts our brains and our bodies, leading to addiction and health issues. I gave you some practical tips for reducing sugar intake to help you break free from this cycle and improve your overall well-being. We examined the differences between seeking self-improvement and earning cheat days, shifting your mindset to focus on long-term rather than short-term gratification. It's the key to sustained success. We discussed transforming our approach to diet and exercise and spirituality by viewing food as fuel, adopting an athlete's mindset, and allowing the right spiritual or the right spirit to guide your life. And we highlighted the importance of discipline as a daily quest and the role of accountability in maintaining your commitments, building a support system and staying consistent. And we ended with reflecting on Christ's life as the ultimate example of discipleship and self-sacrifice. By following his teachings and living with the right spirit, we can navigate our journey with purpose and resilience. So, as we conclude, remember that the journey of self-improvement is ongoing. You can get back on that horse if you've fallen off. Each day is an opportunity to be better, to be stronger, and most importantly, more disciplined. Embrace the process with patience and persistence, and let the Spirit of Christ guide your actions, and always strive to become the best version of yourself. You have the power to shape your destiny. So by making intentional choices and staying disciplined and seeking accountability, you can achieve your long-term goals. I believe in you. I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts. Thanks for joining me today on DadMode, God, Grit, and Goals. Let's continue this journey together, one step at a time. Hey, stay disciplined, stay focused, and remember, the only competition that truly matters is the one within yourself. Until next time, God is good. Jesus has forgiven you. You are loved, and everything is possible. Have a great day.